All right, everybody, this is Star Wars Legend or Myth. Now, what I've done is I've gotten some facts from the old Star Wars Legends Continuity, and I've paired them with stuff that I've made up. Now, Aaron, there's a lot of things from the old Legends. Many of it is great.
Sure.
Some of it is not.
Is it ridiculous?
Yeah, some of it's ridiculous. So I thought it would be fun to pair the ridiculous with my made-up ridiculous. So we're going to do an example first. Okay, so these are two facts, and you got to tell me which one actually happened in Star Wars Legends.
Okay.
Palpatine has a three-eyed son named Triclops. That's fact number one.
Okay.
Fact number two, C-3PO and R2-D2 were merged together by a mad scientist and forced to fight in a droid battle arena.
Well, dang. I was like, well, this first one sounds ridiculous, so it must be that one. But now this one sounds ridiculous, so and I feel like it might be the other one.
Which one actually happened? Legend or myth?
I'm gonna go with the myth is the three-eyed son.
The myth is the three-eyed son.
And that somehow, man, I don't know, that's such a
named
weird thing.
Triclops.
Yeah, it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
But merging two droids together to make an ultimate battle droid sounds
they were
equally
put together.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, are both their minds there? Like, are both of their processors working?
They do speak to each other inside the.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Triclops is a myth, and that R2 and 3PO was a real thing.
All right. Well, that was just our training one, just to get you into it, and you're incorrect.
It's Triclops. Okay.
Is the alleged son of Palpatine.
I never heard of any kind of son of his until until into the newer canon.
No, I mean, it was one of those things. This is actually from the Glove of Darth Vader series that we've talked about before.
Okay.
Yeah,
and it's in that.
It's one of those things that came out, and then people were like, "I could see how he's not, though. Maybe he's just lying or whatever." But if you look up, in the encyclopedia that I took from the Washington County Public Library, and you looked up Triclops, it will say the three-eyed son of Emperor Palpatine.
Okay. So in the book, this guy shows up and he's like, I am Palpatine's son.
Yeah, he's an heir to the Empire, if you will. Yep.
All right.
That's the level of questions you're getting, Aaron.
I should have stuck with that because I was thinking how do you get two droids inside of one battle droid? That seems weird.
Yeah.
That seems maybe that's the ridiculous part. But
sure.
It sounds really cool. I like that idea.
Yeah. All right, so here's the next one. Okay, there is a Jedi Knight named Master Quip Whizzle. He's known for lightning-fast comebacks and humorous remarks, and he was renowned for not just his lightsaber skills, but also his ability to turn any tense situation into a lighthearted exchange. Jedi Master Quip Whizzle.
Okay.
Is that true, or is it true that General Grievous killed a Jedi by the name of Soon Bates, who was, in fact, Jedi Master Bates? One of those is true.
So is there a Jedi Master Quip?
Quip Whizzle.
Or a Jedi Master Bates?
Soon Bates. Now, Quip is spelled Q-U-I-P and then W-I-Z-Z-L-E. And then Master Bates is S-O-O-N, Soon, B-A-Y-T-S, Bates. Is Master Whizzle or Master Bates?
I think I'm going to say that Master Bates is real, and that the idea of a Jedi turning any confrontation to a lighthearted joke time of thing is the weird thing. I'll go with Master Bates.
You are correct. Okay. Master Bates is the real Legends character who had his skull crushed by General Grievous.
Master Bates.
That was from Jedi Council Act of War number 2.
Really?
The comic book, yeah.
Jedi Master Bates.
All right, so you got a point on the board. Awesome. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. I'm having so much fun with this.
That's so silly.
Okay, I'm going to save that one.
Okay.
All right, here's another one.
I'm worried now.
On Endor,
there
is a sentient mountain called Mount Sorrow who can cure people with its tears through the power of friendship. That's fact one. Fact two is Wicket, in order to prank his friends, accidentally leads the Chief Chirpa into an unfired trap from the Battle of Endor, crushing him to death.
I mean, that one sounds more reasonable. That's sad and
Does
terrible.
Wicket accidentally kill Chief Chirpa? Or is there a sentient mountain called Mount Sorrow?
I feel like it's more believable that there's not a sentient mountain and that he accidentally killed the chief. I feel like that's a more believable situation. Man, poor Chief Chirpa. I don't remember.
Right? And
I don't
his lizard,
remember.
too. He had his lizard.
I don't remember a story in the legends of how Chief Chirpa died or anything.
Yeah. You remember he has his lizard there?
Yeah.
Yep.
But I've never seen a lot of those other like Ewok
Yep.
shows and stuff like that too. So like this could be from that, and they had to go get like.
I can give you a small hint in that one of these facts is from the Ewok comic number 17.
Man, that could be either one. I'm gonna say, damn. I'm gonna say Chief Chirpa's death is more reasonable than a sentient mountain.
So you're going with Chief Chirpa?
Yeah.
All right. You are incorrect. In Ewok number 17, there is a sentient mountain called Mount Sorrow who heals injuries with the power of friendship.
That's ridiculous. How are people mad at the canon nowadays?
That's exactly what I say. You know, and when it's the
Triclops?
same- Well, it's the thing though. Like after a certain amount of time, what people saw as like when they're experiencing something new or something fresh, they either like it or they don't. But as some time passes, they tend to think about the stuff they liked more than the stuff they didn't like. They usually go for the stuff they don't like immediately, right?
Sure.
So years and years later, especially after Disney takes over and the Legends continuity is done for,
Yeah.
a lot of people, when they think of the Legends, they all think of the good stuff. They do not think of
They
Mount
skip
Sorrow.
all this stuff, huh? All right. Sentient mountain.
Sentient mountain. All right. Let me go. Okay, this one's fun. During a smuggling mission,
Okay.
Han and Chewie crash land on a planet covered in sticky, bubblegum-like terrain. Both proceed to chew on the dirt and blow bubbles.
Okay.
Okay? That's one fact
Yeah.
that happens in
It
Star
sounds
Wars
ridiculous, so I
Legends.
need to know the other one before I can make a decision.
Now, yeah.
Why would they chew it?
So that is both of these facts come from a comic book, right? The other fact from this comic book is Indiana Jones is on the hunt for Sasquatch in the rainforest. But he finds the body of Han Solo, who died 100 years ago. He is watched over by Chewbacca, who is Sasquatch.
What?
Did that happen? One of those happened in Star Wars Tales 19.
All right. So either Indiana Jones found his Han Solo's body,
Yep.
which is ridiculous,
Uh-huh.
or they landed on a bubblegum planet and started eating it.
Yeah.
That's my options here.
Yep, those are your options. Which of those happened?
I could see a comic book trying to do an Indiana Jones Han Solo crossover, though.
Yeah.
I could see that being a thing.
Uh-huh.
But it seems ridiculous to have in Legends. So it seems more realistic to have bubblegum. I can't do a 50-50. There's only two options.
There's only two options, I know.
I will, as much. Both of these sound ridiculous.
Yep.
I will say that they attempted a crossover with Indiana Jones and Star Wars. So I'll say that one's the real one.
That is correct.
Oh my gosh.
That did happen.
Oh my
It is in a
gosh.
comic book. Indy finds it and says, there's something familiar about this skeleton. Yeah.
Yeah, the fake ones are made up by Eric.
I did make these up, the fake ones.
So they
I
land
know.
on a planet and ate bubblegum on the planet.
Yeah.
I'm like, that
Well,
sounds ridiculous.
I was
But what
trying to
sounds-
make up ones like I was like find facts and try to like change them, but then I was like, no, I don't want to do crazy with that. But the bubblegum one I saw was funny. It's like, what would you do? What's a dumb Star Wars thing? You land bubblegum.
Yeah. But it's equally as ridiculous that the actor who played these two characters,
Yep.
they find him and Chewbacca is Sasquatch.
All right. Do you want to go a little bit into Darth Vader?
Okay.
I have two Darth Vader facts.
Okay, so one of these is okay.
One of these is true. The first one is during a critical strategy meeting with his top commanders, Darth Vader accidentally knocked over a stack of data pads, causing a domino effect that led to chaos in the conference room. Pretty much, did Darth Vader go full Mr. Bean?
He pulled a Jar Jar.
Yeah, or Jar Jar.
But it's only a Jar Jar if it had a positive effect in the end.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, you're correct.
He always has like a positive spin to it by the end of it.
Was Vader embarrassed in front of all of his commanders by knocking over a stack of data pads?
Okay.
Or did Darth Vader steal the crown jewels of Alderaan, and Leia is powerless to tell anyone about it because reporting it would hurt her credit rating?
Wait, like her credit card?
Her credit rating. She cannot tell anybody that the crown jewels of Alderaan have been stolen.
Because
it would
then
hurt her
she has
credit.
to announce that they've been stolen.
Vader, it's an insidious plot. He steals those jewels.
Why is he pulling off a heist?
Which one
Why didn't he hire a bounty hunter to do the heist?
is true?
I'm going to say he knocked over a domino effect. I'm going to go with that one.
That is incorrect.
What?
Vader swindles from Leia the crown jewels of Alderaan, and she chooses not to report it because, quote, it will ruin her credit.
My credit score will drop if I announce this, so I can't do it. I can't believe that.
That was from Star Wars number 48.
48.
Yeah, I think the old Marvel comics. Oh, man, that was so much fun.
I'd rather Darth Vader like channel Jar Jar and knock over some things and cause that. The crown jewels of Alderaan?
All right. This will be my next
I think I'm also trying to put this into the canon too much.
I think
like,
you are.
What would fit like this? That doesn't make sense. Why would they do that? But I need to not do that.
All right, I got two more. Two more rounds. This first one. Uncle Ben has a friend who often brings to Lars' homestead buckets of ice cream. His name is Jerry, spelled Jerri.
Okay. So Ben has Jerry bring ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds ridiculous.
Yes, but I don't know what the next one's going to be.
The next one, this is a character called George R. Binks, who is Jar Jar's father. They have a company called Binks and Son Whaling, and one day they are shipwrecked. Jar Jar drives his father to madness with his ineptitude, and he attempts to kill himself. His wife says, "No, you can't do this. Think of our son." And when she says that, he pulls the trigger.
What?
Which one of those two facts is true, and it was in Star Wars Legends? Ben and Jerry, or George R. Binks attempts to kill himself?
I think there's too much detail in the Jar Jar Binks one for you to have a Ben and Jerry's joke in Star Wars. I think you were having dessert the other day, and you're like, you know what? I think this is a good Star Wars fact. You know, Ben and Jerry's, old Ben, Uncle Ben. Yeah, we're going to do this kind of thing.
George R. Binks.
That's a ridiculous name.
Yep.
But I have no idea what Jar Jar Binks' dad's name is.
Yeah.
And it could be Jar Jar Binks.
Yep. And they have Binks and Son Whaling.
That story was so much longer
I
than the
know,
other story.
Ben and Jerry.
So I feel like you either went real deep creating a story,
Yeah.
or that must be the real one.
Or did I think that you'd think that and made the other one even simpler, even though there are more details? You gotta pick one.
I'm gonna go with Jar Jar.
You are correct. George R. Binks attempted suicide because of what Jar Jar did on that island.
He did it. He pulled because he's.
Well, he did. He actually didn't kill himself.
Oh, he missed?
He missed. It went off of his skull.
It's like, no, Eric, think of your son.
Yeah,
Like,
that's exactly what she shouldn't have said. All right, that is the final round. Aaron, you are 3 for 5.
No.
So let's see if you can make it 4 for 6.
Okay.
Okay. The last one is
the last one. I can't believe his name is George R. Binks.
This is about Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
These are 2 facts
Marietta.
that Luke did. Fact number 1. Luke dates a ghost who possesses his dead Padawan.
Okay.
Or Luke attempts to levitate Calf over to a visiting king, but spills it and causes an intergalactic war.
Damn. That one sounds silly. But the other one sounds really silly.
One of those is true.
He dates a ghost inside of his dead Padawan. Or he spilt some coffee and caused a war. Who would he cause a war with in Legends back in the day?
And specifically, he spills it trying to
Here,
impress
Mr.
somebody.
King.
He's bringing it
Ah,
over
shit.
to them. It drops onto the king and causes a war.
and neither of these have too much detail.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll go with the Ghost and the Padawan one, because I don't know who he would cause a war with in Legends back then.
Uh-huh.
This would have been after.
This
Return
would
of
have
the
been
Jedi,
around
you know?
the time. Yeah, this would have been in between the time of Return of the Jedi and what came after.
Yeah, like going into Heir of the Empire and stuff like that. So like,
Yep.
I'm gonna say the Dead Ghost one.
You are correct. Luke dates a ghost. So the story about this is Luke is on a ship called, I think, the Eye of Palpatine.
Okay, I've heard of that before. That
And
sounds familiar.
there is a dead Jedi woman who died on the ship, but is like the AI of the ship now. Luke also has a student who, through a bunch of different stuff, loses her body pretty much. She dies, but her body's intact.
Okay.
Luke then, the plan is that
we put the AI.
Castella Ming, the AI ghost spirit, goes into his student's body, and then they date.
That's weird.
And
Yeah, right? What the hell
Aaron,
is this?
some would call it a legend. That was Legends or Myth. And you got 4 out of 6. I think you did good.
That's. Thank you, Gonk. I appreciate it. No, it's just it's so weird because like
Yeah.
there's been there's things that people talk about like the newer trilogy of stuff or new books and what they're
yeah.
doing with this and that, and I'm like some of these things that I'm hearing, like the thing about Glove of Darth Vader, like I heard about it a little bit and stuff. Like the idea of that is so silly, but it's because they had no more stories to do, and someone just made this story, and that's what they did.
Well, I mean, some
like-
ideas are better than others. And
Sure.
also back then, like, it wasn't, you didn't like, they had certain levels of reading. They had children books and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But also, you just had some bad ideas.
Yeah. No, I agree. So, like, guys, remember this. When you're talking to people about canon and, like, what is in the new canon and what people don't like and what's
Yeah.
stupid, tell them that at one point Chewbacca was Sasquatch and Indiana Jones found Han Solo's body. Like, how ridiculous does that sound?
Also, a long time ago is only 100 years ago.
Yeah. That's not that long ago.
Yeah.
Like, these are some of the most ridiculous things.
Yeah.
George R. Binks.
George
you
R.
know, Like,
Binks.
that was his name.
George R. Binks,
Like-
yeah. No, there's a bunch more, so maybe we'll have to do another version of Legends or Myth at some point, but that was just scratching the surface of some of these crazy ones. I try to do ones that, like, he could believe these ones were real.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
like, you have, like, I think the toughest part is trying to create, like, what's a ridiculous thing
Yeah.
that is as equally ridiculous as
Yeah,
these things.
like the Ben and Jerry one is dumb, but you could see it's just dumb enough where author might be.
Yeah, this would be
you know?
funny.
Yeah.
Here's Uncle Ben
Yeah, 'cause, like,
and his friend Jerry.
You've had like that's Bulbasaur.
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, there's a thing like they're describing a Bulbasaur, you know? They're talking about the robot, right?
Yeah.
The Doctor Who robot
The Doctor Who
that came
robot.
in a blue box thousands of years ago, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's just a connection to something else, you know?
Yeah.
And it's fun and it's
It is
different, but yeah,
Well, I mean, and it's also not the only problem with the old Legends continuity, and sometimes you get this problem with new canon books too. But they're just like wild directions that you can go in the old Legend stuff
sure.
that aren't very cohesive. You know?
Well, even like the idea of like a sentient mountain sounds ridiculous, but maybe there's something where it's like, well, they
Yeah.
believe it to be a mountain, but really it's a little bit more like the Bendu or something
Sure.
too. You know, like they thought that was like stuff on the planet until it was like that's a creature.
I mean, if I ever was tasked with doing a Star Wars thing that had Ewoks in it, I'd 100% try to find somewhere that I could reference Mount Sorrow.
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
That'd be
it was like a kid's book or kid's comic too, so it's very,
Sure.
very for a smaller audience or a younger audience. But
Okay.
sometimes the old Legend stuff too. I can't remember what book it was. I was infuriated. Like all of the dialogue, or nearly all the dialogue, was just quotes from the movie.
really.
Yeah, like it would just be, the characters in a different situation, but kind of saying stuff like, "You're clear, kid. Let's blow this thing and go home." Like almost, I don't know. I have to find that one, but that one always got to me too, where so much of the dialogue was just
It's
quotes.
just things I've already heard.
Yeah, just like, "Hey, this sounds like Star Wars. We'll just keep using this over and over again."
Sure.
I'll have to research that one because that one really got to me.
Well, see, and that's too why I think that Star Wars can also kind of like change and fit with all the different planets and
Yeah.
things you have. Like you can change what it looks like, what technology is here. You know, like this planet may not have much.
Mm-hmm.
This planet may be very technologically advanced, and they modify their bodies and all this stuff.
Sure.
But this one, like, they're tribal people, and they don't really even have spaceships here.
Yeah.
Like, you can really have drastic differences. I think Star Trek kind of does the same stuff, too, as they travel through and whatnot. But I like those kind of ideas. So, like, when we go through these books and get to these different planets or, whatever the case is, just seeing new stuff.
Agreed.
So, I don't know. Hopefully, things kind of branch out and we get a lot of things that aren't too crazy. But I wouldn't mind seeing like R2 and 3PO turn into like a big old droid and fight stuff.
I was thinking about that one. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it'd be neat, right? Like you think about like all the things R2 is like shot out of his body at times, like there's electricity, there's a saw blade, like imagine that. But it's like R2D2 armor on 3PO, and they're like, coming at like I don't know, like
there's
like a battle bot.
there's a Legends bounty hunter that's a C3PO droid. Protocol droid looks exactly like him, but it's like one of the most ruthless bounty hunters in the galaxy. So I've always enjoyed that happens, and I think at one point 3PO like masquerades as him.
Really,
it's very funny.
Masquerades as a
So
bounty hunter.
I mean, Legends is full of, just like the canon stuff, but Legends is full of like some fantastic momentary glimpses in time that don't make sense anymore. But those stories are still mean something. They can still entertain. They can still teach, and just because they're not canon anymore doesn't mean they're not worth anything,
Gotcha.
Yeah. C3PX. That's right.
C3PX. I'm also now wondering how Chief Chirpa died.
Oh, I don't even know if he died. I was trying to think up like what could happen on Ewoks that's just as silly. I just love the idea of like Wicket like, hey, come check this out. He kills their leader. Like, oh!
Log falls or something or whatever. Like, oh man. But no, that was fun. None of those were things that I've read before or anything or gone through and whatnot. So
all right. Well, as long as you stay ignorant of Legends material, as long as possible, maybe one day Legend or Myth will return.
Yeah, I don't plan on going back and reading any of them unless we do them for Badonkagunk.
Yeah, I get you.
So I'll stick to the canon stuff for now.
Yeah.
But